Phenomena Task Force, created by the Deputy Defense Secretary David Norquist on August 4th, is now available to look into and strengthen an already existing effort since 2018 has been under the purview of the Office of Naval Intelligence, expanding it, where the Senate is requiring the Director of National Intelligence and Secretary of Defense, or with other intelligence and law enforcement agencies, to prepare a public report of government findings on the UAP issue. In April, the United States released 3 declassified videos that show U.S. Navy pilots encountering what appeared to be unidentified flying objects. Now, if you haven't heard anything about that, you're probably living under a rock for some time, because this has been all over the news. The only thing is, while the news has reported it, we've been very, obviously, we've been preoccupied with things like COVID-19. And so this is why, this is important that we look into this, because, well, UFO disclosure question is now being asked by reporters in the mainstream. And the pressure's on by government entities to at least lift the veil on UFO secrecy, and whether or not we're dealing with an extraterrestrial threat or new exotic weaponry that will be piloted by Space Force in the future. When you look at the figure for 2020, there are a lot of people that are having a change of heart when it comes to the UFO alien connection, and while many are still thinking that UFOs can be piloted by extraterrestrials, there are now drones and satellites that are in the sky that can be mistaken for UFOs, and so now more people are beginning to think that while the alien UFO connection is intriguing, there are those that believe that perhaps what we're seeing in the sky is something that's precluding a war in space. 45% of Americans now believe that UFOs exist and that have visited the Earth. That means, actually, if you look at that, it's kind of down from previous surveys. But it can be attributed to the various announcements of patents and other declassified materials being released to the public that illustrate the designs of military aircraft that actually could be mistaken for alien spacecraft. This indicates that perhaps the study of UFOs and alien spacecraft is maturing a bit from when it was first presented. There are certainly historical records and documentation of various UFO encounters that need to be reviewed again and again and again to separate the strange and paranormal activity from the more prosaic explanations. So the stage is now set. The U.S. military is about to lift the curtain on planet Earth's biggest lifetime mystery, the multi-generational mystery, which today is a gigantic cultural meme that rakes in tens of billions of dollars, enthralling hundreds of millions of people worldwide. The late UFO researcher Stan Friedman once noted in his reasons for non-disclosure that the biggest reason for continuing secrecy was a great danger for the world's elite, that once the common people of the planet Earth knew they were not alone in the universe anymore, they would favor a global government. Well, it's all good to speculate, and of course, like I said, trying to separate the myth from the reality is what we're trying to accomplish, because, of course, when you have the Defense Department working with UFOs and trying to bring the attention, or at least bring some attention to the issue, we need to bring people on, of course, to talk about this that are very credible. Christopher Altman is an American physicist, quantum technologist, international diplomat, and NASA-trained commercial astronaut who began his scientific career with a Guinness World Record-holding artificial intelligence project and a NASA United States Air Force-supported time travel division at Multidisciplinary Deep Future Research Institute Starlab. His pioneering next-generation science and technology initiative includes research at world-leading research institutes, including NASA Ames Research Center, the Kavli Institute of Nanoscience, a senior scientist at a government, at an astronaut training base on a volcano in Hawaii, as chairman of the UNESCO First Committee of Disarmament and International Security, selected an annual recipient of the RSA Award for Outstanding Achievement in Government Policy, and as part of the U.S. government's fast-track quiz program.